My next guest will be familiar to you as a Formula One designer, but just before Christmas, he decided that wasn't quite exciting enough, and he decided to sail across the Atlantic on his own, which he did. Please welcome the tireless Mike Gascoyne.
Hi there. Hi, nice to see you. Have a seat. Thank you.
Is that right? You just thought, just for a laugh, there's a little bit different, because I know you guys operate on a completely different level to the rest of us. It's going to sail around the Atlantic on your own.
Yeah, I mean, sailing's always been a great passion of mine, and I'd done 23 years in Formula One on the pit wall, and one of the things about the Caterham Group when we set it up, that we were always aiming at the automotive sector, and Tony asked me to concentrate on the road car business and basically leave Formula One, and I didn't want to give up competitive sport, and sailing had always been in my blood, so I decided that I wanted to live my dream and sail solo across the Atlantic, and we're just about to announce, or I'm just am announcing, that we're going to sail around the world solo in 4 years' time in the Vendée Globe. So,
wow, and that's not the work of a moment, is it?
Bring it on.
Yeah, classic. Was there a bit of a wrench for you to leave Formula One and concentrate on road cars?
Obviously, to not sit on the pit wall and be involved day to day. I'm still the Group Chief Technical Officer, so I still do 1 or 2 days a week in Formula One and oversee what they're doing. But the one thing about the Caterham Group is that it was always meant to be an automotive group. So although we started it as a Formula One team with Tony, to be sustaining in Formula One, you've got to earn money, because Formula One drains money. And you've seen so many new teams have come up and failed. So you have to have a correct business plan. And that was always about being a sustainable business automotive group. And actually the key to Caterham is not the Formula One team, it's earning money as Caterham cars, and that's what I'm putting my energies into. And that was quite simple to make that decision, because the success of my Formula One team is actually the sustainability of the group.
As a Formula One outfit, Caterham enters year 4 in 2013, and realistically, what can it achieve? Well,
I think you've got to be very careful. If you look at the 9 existing teams that have been there for the last 20 years, they've invested huge amounts in facilities and that. When you come in new to the sport, you can match their budget, but you can't match their capital investment and what they've invested in the last 20 years. That takes time. So what you have to have is sustainability. You have to finance that sustainability, and you have to build up your resources. So what I'd say is, don't expect Caterham to join the midfield and be there, but be there and be sustainable, because so many teams have done that and not managed it. And we intend to do that as part of our group, while making fantastic road cars and earning money for our shareholders, and that will make a sustainable project, and that's what's important in the modern environment.
Cynics would say that the new teams, I say new in inverted commas, from in 2010, in 3 seasons between them, didn't score a point. Much of that's down to reliability. You know, everybody finishes pretty much now. Is that a fair assessment? Does that put extra pressure on?
It's an absolutely fair assessment. And it's incredibly... To score a point in Formula One, you've got to be really good now. And it is the ultimate. It always should be the ultimate performance motorsport environment. And that's absolutely right. And it should be very tough to join it. So we're not shy about that. But it will... You're not going to go and do that overnight. If it was that easy, everyone would be doing it. And I think that's what the public has to realise. But that's absolutely the way it should be. It should be the pinnacle of motorsport, and it is, and therefore it's difficult.
It'd be fascinating to just hear a sort of snapshot of the differences between, say, Renault, where you worked, a World Championship winning outfit of not many years ago, Toyota, one of the world's biggest car companies, and a massive, massive factory effort, and little Caterham.
Yeah, I think they're very different challenges. You've got the corporate environment of Toyota, that should have been able to achieve everything, but was bogged down by a massive corporate bureaucracy. You've got the lightweight sort of thing at Caterham. My happiest years, the most fun thing for me today was going and seeing the Jackie Stewart display and the old Tyrrell transporter, because my happiest years were
at Tyrrell, of course. Yeah.
At Tyrrell, 5 years at Tyrrell, working with Ken. Absolutely fantastic man. I'd still be there today if they were still in existence. I would never have left it. It was a fantastic place to work with a real lightweight core of real experienced guys that could do anything on a tight budget. And that's where I learnt my engineering. That's what actually made me a successful engineer at all these bigger companies, because they couldn't see the wood for the trees. And at Tyrrell, you absolutely learnt to prioritise and do good engineering. And that's what most Formula One teams lose. They spend lots of money. They don't do bread for butter engineering. And that's always been where my great joy in working and doing engineering. And so many Formula One teams are inefficient, and Toyota were the living embodiment of that. And so you see both ends. And again, Renault, when I went to Renault, was actually a very, very efficient team. And on a very small budget, won 2 world championships, run by Flavio Briatore, who everyone loves to hate, who actually ran it exceptionally well on a lightweight budget.
He's a businessman, wasn't he? It was business first and racing second.
Well, he spent very little money on the team and probably a lot more on himself.
Are there some sort of direct comparisons to be made between a racing car and a sailing boat?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're now working with Alex Thompson, who's doing a fantastic job racing in the Vendée Globe on his 60th day out on the water. And you're basically racing a lightweight carbon fibre racing machine, racing it around the world, all the logistics, the lifing, the reliability issues. They're very, very similar. And one of the things we want to do in the Caterham group, and we are doing, is taking the expertise that we've got in lightweight composite structures in motorsport into the marine industry, into aviation, into the automotive sector, because there's a lot of areas that motorsport is leading in technology, and we want to take them into the other sectors. And sailing is absolutely one of the areas, because you look at the reliability of some of these boats, and these guys are out there risking their lives, and they're very unreliable, and we need to help them get better.
I suppose the ocean can be as cruel a mistress as the racetrack.
Much more so, to be honest.
So it's a living, breathing thing, isn't it?
If you look at the risks out there, they're much greater. I mean, you don't have a medical crew 10 seconds away. They're 10 days away. So reliability out there is absolutely crucial, and that's what motorsports can filter through into other sectors.
Is there a narrow framework of regulations? Is there only sort of so much you can do, like Formula One, where a Mike Gascoyne or an Adrian Newey can make the difference? Have you got much to work with?
Well, Adrian Newey made much more of a difference than Mike Gascoyne ever did. But
well, that's sweet of
and
you.
Well done to him. But no, in the marine world, there's much more of it's a very fresh area, but it's also an area that needs very much quickly bringing up to speed in terms of not just technology, but how to manage that technology so you've got safe racing, which Formula One has done fantastically with the technical working group and the safety groups that are involved. And the FIA have done a fantastic job since I've been involved in motorsport over the last 20 years. And we need to fast track these other sporting areas to ensure that they have the same safety regimes for the guys that are putting their life on the line.
Yeah. Quick word about Caterham F1 and drivers for 2013. Charles Pic is in. Any news on the second car?
Don't ask me that. But no, I think the one thing with Caterham, as I said, we are very much aiming to be a sustainable, long-term team. That may mean we have to take pay drivers or whatever. That's the nature of the game. But the one thing we want to make sure is that Caterham is on the grid in 20 years' time.
We wish you well. We'll be watching with interest, of course. And good luck with that round the world thing.
Yeah, well, it's not a simple thing, but you know, one thing my boss Tony Fernandez always said: live your dream. And I'd say to everyone out here, step outside your comfort zone and do what you believe.
Don't always sit on the comfiest seat.
And this isn't.
Yeah, these are awful, aren't they?
They're terrible.
Mike Gascoyne, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.